Hi, Nitin. Welcome to Your Next Move.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing good. Um, so, I would like to start not with the what of things, but the why. Why do governments hate Bitcoin? What is it so capable of doing that it can completely change the financial order of the world as we know it of today?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question to start. Why do governments hate Bitcoin? Or why do governments hate cryptocurrencies? Right. And I think anything new has its own um, merits and demerits, right? And the way Bitcoin, let's just step a little back. The way Bitcoin or crypto has been created is actually to challenge the status quo on a significant amount of um, plays, right? On a significant level. And I think um, so. The way Bitcoin was born was from a concept of decentralization. That means that there need not be a single authority who is controlling uh, stuff, right? In every form of a transaction today, either be it a financial transaction, which we largely talk about transactions, but even if it is not a financial transaction and it is like we are on YouTube and there are viewers and there are creators, right? But
Right.
the entire authority on a centralized play, which means YouTube controls everything, right?
Right.
And they might want to they might ban you, they might just take down the video down or whatever they want to do, right? So the significant amount of control is on the centralized world. Even in the payment world, if I have to send you money, banks may ban me, they may decide the price. It's too much on the centralized authorities. And that's where the challenge of the challenge comes, and that is where the concept of decentralization came. So
Right.
Bitcoin is based on the concept of decentralization, and the technology used is blockchain.
Right.
Right. So if for users to
Got it.
understand is that there are many times these words used: Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, decentralization, etc. So decentralization is the concept, blockchain is the technology used, cryptocurrencies is the implementation of it. And there are many different types of crypto assets. One of them,
Right.
which was the first one, is Bitcoin, which is
Is
actually
Bitcoin.
transferring value, right? Or holding value and transferring value.
Right.
It is changing the way the world is started doing business in, or the world will do business in, or the world will do commerce in, or the world will do transactions in. And whenever such a huge amount of change comes,
Right.
it's not easy for everyone to comprehend. And this one is such a huge change that that it's not easy to wrap your heads around it, and it challenges the status quo. So think about when internet came, right? The It challenged significant amount of the world order, right? Whatever we bring on the table, and information is free. You can access your news online, right? Your Everybody is a news creator. Everybody is a
Right.
content creator. Okay,
Yes.
everybody can share their views. If you think about earlier when you used to write your books, you had to write your book. It'll take you maybe 6, 9, 10 months or 12 months to write a book. Then you go to the publisher to publish it. They are centralized authority. They would throw it out. Now,
Right.
then came blogs, right? On internet, one of the applications is blog. Nobody stops
Right.
you. If you have readers, and if people want to read your views, and if people want to read your stuff, it totally democratizes it, right? So
Got it.
it is, so that internet brought on the table. And now the further away is the next age of technology innovation has brought in no centralized servers. no way for anyone to switch you off. Like even if you take the example of a blog, right? I write a book, uh, some book, which publisher will say, oh, it is too difficult to publish because either they don't like it, or the concept is complicated for them, or it is too controversial, right? Then you can blog it, right? You can write it on blogs, right? Possible.
Right.
But again, blogging platforms, etc., are provided by centralized authorities. They can switch.
Right.
They can switch you down, etc., etc. But if you think about if you do it on a blockchain, if you do it on using decentralization, nobody can switch you out, right? So it is a whole new thing, and any new thing is not easily understood. Is it not easily comprehended? It it is such huge that it has, which is the second part of your question. It is going to change the world order, the way we transact. When I say transact, I mean not only financial transactions. It certainly is a significant amount, but anyways, we transact in terms of information,
Right.
right? Anyways, we store information, and information transfer is using emails, the way we will be transferring information on emails or on social media, right? And when that huge thing happens, people don't, it's not easy to comprehend, and this is such huge that it actually shakes the entire ecosystem and tries to take us into the next world, right? So the government is not yet able to comprehend, and so they are skeptic. And now, one more small part of this puzzle I want to explain, and then you will get the picture. And that is, anything new is susceptible to, it's because it is new. It's not fully baked. There are chances of it being used for a negative perspective, right? So, and now we are like 12 years or more than that, and in the Bitcoin ecosystem, the data can prove that what amount of transactions can be used for a negative purpose. But you will understand that with that data we can understand. But when we started, this data was not there, and the governments are always concerned about that, and that is why it is. I would not use the word hate, but they're still not
Right.
able to get their heads wrapped around, right? They're still
Got it.
trying to figure out what are the pros and cons, and governments do consider cons more, right? What are the negatives, right? Because governments, one of the most important thing for a government is to actually care for the masses, right?
Right.
Is it
Yeah. They have to care for the investors as well. Like if, I mean, they don't want their capital to be lost.
correct? Like you're going on a very specific point, but for the masses, right? If you are a
Mhm.
if you are a billionaire and your wealth gets or you take a loss, they are not worried about it. But if you are a mass individual, and that's what governments are for, they are not for elite few, but for the masses, right? So their perspective is that, and when they look at the perspective with that eyes, they have to figure out a lot of things, and that is why it has not yet happened. Let's put it that way,
Right.
right? Now, it has not yet happened across the world. It has started happening. There are governments who are supporting it. There are governments and people who understand it now, and it has proved. And means, let me put it even one more bluntly. How can we say the governments hate it when the governments are themselves working towards bringing about their own cryptocurrencies, called
Right.
also known as CBDCs, centrally backed digital coins, right? Digital currencies. So,
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's why I asked why do they hate Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin is like they banned Bitcoin, like the
now,
specific currency.
no, actually, they typically ban cryptocurrencies because Bitcoin is just one, and you can't ban it, right? The whole construct is
Right.
that you cannot ban it.
Right. Right. It is a pan-national
It's like
thing.
you cannot switch it off, right?
Yeah. Right.
Right? I hold Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin. How will you ban it? It's not easy for them to comprehend. Governments cannot comprehend. It's not easy, and they are looking for the masses, right? The benefits of the masses. So, and it is challenging. Okay, so they do not. We were talking about, can we actually ban it? I can hold it.
Mhm.
You because it is not held by any centralized authority, right?
Right.
It's like I am holding some piece of paper. How can you ban me for holding some piece of paper or some some mud, right? Some sand, I'm holding it, right? How can you ban it, right? I'm just holding it and putting it in my bag, right? It's nothing, right? There's no centralized authority. I'm not holding it with somebody. So it's very difficult to say they can ban it. They can make it difficult, right? But can they ban it? No. So it's like it's a misnomer. They can make it difficult. They can put laws saying that it's not easy to manage, but banning, I don't think so. It is possible. I mean, it's actually not possible, right? Yeah.
So, okay, so the current financial system, if we look at it, it runs on an established order, as we just spoke about, right? So there is a bank where I keep my money. There are exchanges where I trade it. There is a government that makes sure that I am safe, the money is safe. It is centralized, and at the same time, I trust the central authority. What is the structure of safety in the world of crypto? And in the same breath, I would like to ask you, what is the need of cryptocurrency? How does its existence have an impact on the world? So basically, these are two questions, right? The trust factor and the need of cryptocurrency.
Okay. Good question. Let's take an example, and I will ask you a question back. Okay. Who do you trust the most?
My family?
No. Who do you trust the most?
Okay. The system then? Like
No.
the
Who do you trust the most?
Okay, I trust myself the most.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
again,
Right.
who do you trust the most?
Right. Right. Yeah. I trust myself the most. Right. Just
Correct.
take some time to
Yes,
finally find
I
the
knew
truth.
that will take. I will have to ask you a few times, but that's the answer, right? Do you trust the system or do you trust you most?
Right. I trust myself, obviously. Yes.
Right now,
Right.
this hands over the trust to you. You hold your own coins with yourself. You decide whom
Right.
do you want to trust in. You decide that if
Right.
you want to trust in the government or not. You decide if you are happy to hold your coins yourself or you can give it to another company to hold it for you.
Right.
Right? There can
It's
be.
a radically different idea that investors, I guess, should first get their heads wrapped around
Correct. Right.
before
And
investing.
let's not call them investors right now. Okay. Call them just individuals. They are just people, right? We are not talking about only Bitcoin. We're talking about crypto right now. Right?
Right.
Bitcoin is just one element of it. But let's talk about that. If you trust yourself the most, should you hold your own money?
Right.
Or yes, the answer is yes, I would. But it's very difficult for me to hold cash. I would not like
Right.
to keep a significant amount of cash stashed in my cupboard.
Right.
Right? Then what do I do? Is there a way to digitally handle it?
Right.
Right? When I trust myself, then I can give it to anybody. It's
Right.
my money. I want to give it to anybody. Globally,
Right.
I want to send it to anybody. It's my money,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Who is the government to say that I cannot send it to the US or I cannot send it to some of my friends in Canada or somewhere else, right? Who's anybody to tell me? It's my money, which I earned, which I own. I can do whatever I want to do with it, and that is
Right.
where the decentralization comes in. Current order is that there are laws there, and you have to trust the the system. And the systems in the past have been shaky, have had sometimes given issues, have even if you go back to financial crises and banks failing, etc., etc.
Right.
Right? I will give you a very simple example. Why do you think suddenly everyone is looking at Bitcoin in the last 12 months? What changed in the last 12 months? Right? Since last March, February month till today. Why significant amount of people are looking at crypto? Or the who's who or the big names are looking at crypto? Because they see that what the government is doing is is going to deteriorate the value of their money if they keep it in that currency. So they want to hedge and they want to keep some of their money in something like a digital currency which is not centrally governed.
Got it.
Right? So think about an example. I'll give you an example, right? or one of the points which comes out is that how much dollars were printed, US dollars were printed in the last 12 to 18 months. 20%, 30% of the world's dollar, total number of dollars which are available in the world, 20 to 30% of them are printed in the last 12 to 18 months, which is significant amount, right? Hundreds
Yeah,
of
right.
so many years it has been in existence. And suddenly in 2020, 2021, you print the next 25%, 30% of the dollars.
Right.
And there is more money in the market, suddenly printed. Is it backed by anything? No. But if it is printed, then there are chances that the value of your currency or your money will deteriorate. So the world realized that and started looking at alternate ways. And one of the alternate assets or world came about was Bitcoin, right? In the last, so while it has been in existence for 12, 13, 12 years, but there comes a point in which it has gained adoption enough. It's still very early days, but it has gained adoption enough that it cannot be ignored.
Right. So that, I guess that answers the need bit of it, right?
Correct.
We need it because, I mean, to simplify your answer of your part of need, it is because we cannot trust
So
a particular government
yeah, we cannot
with
trust is one thing.
money
I think need is all about
in the future.
efficiency. If there's more efficient,
Even I'm trying to
yeah, I
I'm
know.
trying to get it right. It's a little tough to comprehend the full scale of crypto, right?
I know, and
Um,
that is the beauty of it, right? It takes a while, but once you are a believer, you are a believer, right?
right.
What I'm trying to tell you is that when we talked about trust, right? We established who you trust the most, right? And then we came right. Hey, I would trust my money with myself.
Right.
Right now I have laid my trust on the bank. Who's going to keep it? Who knows if it can fail tomorrow, right? I am buying, I'm holding all the money in fiat or sovereign currency, and who knows if the government might devalue it. And I'm not talking about all the governments in the world, but some governments, this has happened in the world in the past. The currencies have got devalued, right? Various parts of the world, right? That's the point. And talking about the need, right? Need is only because you want it more control, because you trust yourself, and the second is that it'll make it makes it more efficient.
Right.
I want to send some money from one part of the world, from sitting in India. I want to send money to, let's just say, Malaysia or China, okay, or Serbia or Siberia, right? Oh my God, complicated. You're sitting in Canada, you want to send money to somebody who's working, who has done some work for you and created your website, and he's sitting out of Ukraine, or he's sitting out of Morocco, or he's sitting out of Philippines. Oh my God, complicated, right?
Right.
Very complicated and very so complicated, time consuming, and costly,
Right.
right? So if some system is actually solving the problem of trust, okay, if the system is making the system much more efficient, effective, cheaper, faster, better, then that is the need, right?
Right. So in a conventional financial system, the government has control over currency. Right. Um, it is the originator of that money, as you just said, right? The government printed the money, so it originated from the mint. In in the world of cryptocurrency, how does a currency originate and how does it grow? For example, there are 18 million bitcoins available right now in the world. Right? How did we reach that number? How did it start? Can you shed some light on where it came from and
Yeah.
how is it increasing over time?
So just going before answering that, let's answer. You have actually answered some part of it in your question, and I'll pick from there. But one thing we have to remember is that this is a decentralized world, right?
Mhm.
And the thought process is that the trust has to be, now I trust it myself, right? I don't trust any individual. So what do I trust in the crypto sphere, or in the crypto ecosystem, or in the decentralized world? Is blockchain, is the technology. I lay all my trust in the blockchain itself, because we know that technology cannot be changed, or that the whatever information I've written in a blockchain, it can never be altered. You can
Right.
never be deleted. You cannot delete it ever, right? So my trust goes in the I'm putting the trust in blockchain itself, because I'm using
Right.
that blockchain to transfer my money, right? I am holding my money, but if you hold your money, there's nothing. And we are talking about global world. If you have to send that money to somebody, and we are using the system of blockchain, so we are laying the trust in blockchain,
Right.
right? So that is the establishing thing on the of blockchain itself.
Right. Okay. Uh, so let's say I want to start a cryptocurrency today.
uh,
Um, how do I start it? I mean, how do I say that there are 100 shares in the market?
you decide. Let's go back first. Let's first answer your question about Bitcoin, and 18 million are there, and then what? How
Right.
do we mint, right? How do we mint? Use the word mint, right? You use the word that the governments mint currency, right? They mint the coin,
Right.
right? That's exactly what Bitcoin does. You mint it, and you mint it by mining it. What is mining? Is actually solving a complex algorithm problem, which computers solve it, basically working hard to actually mine a new coin or validate a transaction, right? Very
Right.
simply put, validating a transaction or mining a new coin. And that is all programmed in the code,
Right.
which is what Bitcoin runs on. And that is where the whole trust comes, that you trust the blockchain system to transfer value, to transfer your Bitcoin. You can hold your Bitcoin in your own wallets, right? So you trust yourself to hold it, and then you trust the blockchain world to transfer it, or to world, or to
Right.
blockchain technology to transfer it. So there's no human intervention. And the way blockchain is written down is it can never be edited, or it can always be audited, but it is you cannot alter whatever has been written. You cannot change it. If you have written it once on the blockchain, transaction has been written, it cannot be changed. That's the beauty of the technology we use, right? So the
Right.
answer is that when when Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, okay,
Right.
respect to that the person or group of people,
Group of people. Yes.
he
We
when
remember.
he she they created it,
Right.
they decided that there are going to be 21 million Bitcoins ever in the world.
Okay.
So the finite number is 21 million. And the way they created the code is that the difficulty increases. So as more and more gets mined, the difficulty of mining new one increases.
Okay.
So that is what they did in order to make it a fixed quantity.
Okay. So once all the 21 million bitcoins are out in the market, that is the finite number of bitcoins that will ever stay ever in the world.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
So
Got it.
if you own one Bitcoin, you will always be in the top 21 million people.
Right. Owning it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So
So
what is
yeah,
yeah,
we used to call it now Bitcoin is high, but when Bitcoin we started, we used to say own 21 Bitcoin. If you own 21 Bitcoin, you will always be in the top million,
right.
right? Out of
Right.
7.5 billion people who are, which is the market size, okay, you will
Yeah.
always be in the top million
Right.
if you
Yeah.
want. But hey, being in 21 million is also not bad out of 7 billion, 7.5 billion people in the world.
Right. Right.
right? So you can own
Obviously.
one,
Yeah.
right? You can own one.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
So, what's your prediction now with cryptocurrencies, and what are we going to see in the next 10 years? We're seeing NFTs come in. We're seeing different types of cryptocurrencies come in. I saw a, a currency called Mana yesterday, which is like the currency for Decentraland, and I was like really, really, really kicked about it. And it's trading at $2. I was pretty,
Did you
and
buy it?
yeah, I thought I'll buy like 100, 200 of them and keep them because I I
So,
see them growing. But
so I'll
how
give
do
you.
you see it?
So I'll give you the answer in few ways, and I'll tell you some of the interesting ones. Okay,
Mhm.
it's the future. It is changing the world order. It is going to make the world a much more flatter place. Means that there's no no big boys or no big boss ruling everything, right?
Right,
Everyone has the power. Power is not with only elite few; it is with everyone, right? It is going to be make it systems much more efficient and effective.
right,
And I think that there is going to be significant amount of growth in the number of people which is going to use it in the next 5 10 years. There will be many innovations happening on this world.
right,
So you are at the onset of the new world, right? That is where we are standing. Interestingly, we are in 2021, right? 21 stands
yeah,
for 21 million Bitcoin also. So we are in the 21st century. We are in the 2021 of the century,
the century. Yeah,
right? So of the 21st century. So it is going to that's where we are standing. So my prediction is there's going to be significant growth in terms of users, significant growth in number of use cases it solves, significant growth in innovations which are happening, significant growth in making the world much more flatter and effective and efficient. That is
right,
what, how would I say? And is it risky to invest in such a thing? Once it is such a path breaking thought process, and you is it risky? Yes, there is risk, right?
right,
So investing is in cryptocurrencies is risky, yes, but not investing in it or not getting involved in it is riskier, because you are not, you have the opportunity is there to get involved. And I'm again saying there are significant ways in which you can invest or get involved. Okay, you can be an investor, you can hold or you can buy, okay, but you can create your career in it. You
right,
can be a, you can be an influencer, entrepreneur, you can be a product creator, you can be a coder, developer. There's so much.
right.
Okay, there's so much need of talent and so much career you can build here. So
Mm,
somebody was asking me, because crypto is always talked about as money, right? So and
right,
people see the growth which has happened, and somebody asked me a very nice question: where is the money in crypto? Where is the money, right? And I answered, the answer is it's everywhere. You can create wealth, or you can get money, you can create a career and there's money. You can do a marketing job, there's money. You can be an entrepreneur, create concepts and build a business yourself. There's money in it, right? You can be a
right.
simple investor, there's money in it. So it's not only investing, but it is so many aspects which is there. So we are literally on very initial days,
Right.
right? And remember it, when you can initial days, there are challenges, there are questions, there are, not everything is figured out, all right?
Right.
But that's what the new thing is. And I think, coming back to your first question and answering it that with that, is that yes, governments don't understand it or hate it right now, but they cannot ignore it.
Right.
They just can't
So,
ignore.
and uh,
Yeah.
I that the talk the I mean, what you said about work in the field of cryptocurrency brings me to my last, and the I mean, it's the last question, where is the crux of the show, which is how to make a career in cryptocurrency. So For someone who is interested in this space and wants to join the crypto revolution by either investing or mining, um, one, what are the resources, books, articles, people's website that you recommend? And secondly, um, for somebody who's a non-techie, how can they enter the world of crypto? I mean, you answered it partly by, there are marketing roles, there are product roles. Can you just elaborate on that? So yeah, I mean, both these things, right? The first thing is, as an investor, what should I read? How should I learn? And then, as a person getting into cryptocurrencies or the world of blockchain to make my career, what steps should I take?
So I think take the first step now. Don't say that one day I will invest. Let that day be, let today be that one day. It's okay. Get involved, invest. Once you invest, when you have the skin in the game, when you have some money in that, you will learn it, you will read it. Once you read it, more and more feeds will come on to whatever you read, right? More and more Facebook will give you, news will give you, Google will give you more and more things to read about. Okay, there's so much to read. Twitter will give you more significant reads to read, right? And then you keep on reading about it and you will learn your own understanding, right? Watch some of the shows. We have a lot of channels in which we share our content. We share some good news. We have a newsletter which comes every day, right? B21, which is my entrepreneurial gig, is there is the B21. You can check out B21 as a newsletter. Every day you will get some uncluttered news talking in a very plain English, nicely readable, right? Not talking about a lot of numbers and graphs and this and that, but talk about everything. See where the industry is going. Okay, we have not. It's going so fast that Bitcoin is old. Okay, I mean it's still, and then there's so much decentralized finance, and then now NFTs, and there's going to be more and more and more.
Right.
Right, it's going to be almost all the world trade will get shifted on blockchain.
Right. So, who do you generally look at, like when you go to seek knowledge of the
No, I
crypto
think
world?
I think it's not about one person, because the world. It's again, the answer is that this is not about a centralized play, right? It's not about Google always leading everything, right? Or Facebook or Amazon leading everything. No, 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 no. This is a completely different world. This is that you can have a smarter concept than anyone who has billions of dollars in this industry, and then people will look at you and salute you. So I will want to learn from you. It's about everyone participating. So it's not easy. It's not the right thing to say that there's one person, one guy, one thing I lead.
Right. Okay, so can you tell us about B21 and how can people benefit from it?
Yeah, I think B21 is a very interesting project which we are doing, where we want to bring in the next 100 million people in crypto. We want to make it absolutely simple. We are making it absolutely simple for people to invest, people to earn, people to spend crypto, right? It's very complicated otherwise, right? I put it very simply. If your mom can invest in crypto using B21, that's where we've arrived, right? We impart a significant amount of knowledge. We have a lot of news sharing stuff going on. We do newsletters every single day. A lot of knowledge imparting we do. We have we make the experience extremely simple for individual to invest in, and we don't have a lot of coins. We make it simple. You can create your coins, you can create your investment very easily, and in a single click you can invest in your portfolio created by yourself. In a single click you can sell your portfolio. In a single click you can add more coins on the portfolio. In a single click you can stake your portfolio and earn rewards and earn interest in that, right? In a single click you can spend your money. You have made money, you want to spend, you want to go out and have a drink or have a nice dinner, you can spend. your crypto, and making it absolutely simple. Our goal is to bringing in the next 100 million people in the crypto space, because I think, and then the next 100 million people are not the techies, are not the traders, are the common people like you and me, are the people who have their day job, they would want to invest, but it's all about more investing, right? More people being there, more decentralized, as many more people join in, and this ecosystem will grow. So get your journey started. Let your thought not be that one day I will. Let this day be the day one, not one day, but day one. That's what I would say, and that's what we do. We are here sitting on a Sunday night, and we are having a conversation with you because we believe in it. It is such a huge thing, and this is the right time to make the change in the world, to make the world much more, much more easier to impart knowledge, to make everyone more powerful.
Great.
Right?
That's a great parting thought, Nitin. That let today be day one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to Your Next Move.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Lovely. Follow us on Twitter. Find us. We will be happy to answer anything, any questions.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you so much.